good, everyone? I'm your Creek Captain Rishi, and we're going to learn about this hill cipher today. Let's get started. So, first off, we have right here the alphabet values. We have A equals 0, B equals 1, C equals 2, and D equals 3. Remember, this is of utmost priority. You guys have to remember that A equals 0. A starts from 0. Some people when they're doing problems like this, they do A equals 1 and B equals 2, and they miss up the entire question. But you guys have to do A equals 0, B equals 1 to start off from there. And right below it, we have the normal matrix. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's going to be A, B, C, D. Or my bad, sorry. You guys still can't see that. It's going to be A, B, C, D. That's going to be your normal. That's going to be your normal matrix. Versus this is going to be your initial inverse matrix. Remember the keyword initial, because that's not the final matrix we're going to use. This is going to be your initial inverse matrix. So you guys are going to be using this one for encryption, and you guys are going to be using this one for decryption. Okay, let's start off. So one of the formulas you guys will have to know to solve for this is going to be AD minus BC mod 26 times D minus B minus C A mod 26. And so first off, we're going to start off with this half right here, the AD minus BC times mod 26. So let's look at an example. So in this situation, we have B equals 1, so that's going to be our A. R equals 17, that's going to be our B. H is equal to 7, which is going to be our C. And 22 is going to be our D. And so normally using AD minus BC, we would plug in the values. So since our A is going to be 1, we have 1 times 22, which is going to be our D. So 1 times 22 minus 17 times 7. And you find the mod 26 of that. And when we do it, we calculate that the mod is going to be 7. Hold your horses, we're not done there yet. We have one more monumental task. When we find this 7, we can't just plug it into the value. What you have to do is, we have to go back to this table they provide us during the exam. This table right here. And so you have to look at the lower ones. Where do I find 7? I found 7 right here. And so find the upper value right here. So since I found 7, the value we look for is 15. So the value of this right here is going to be 15. Yep, the value of that right there is going to be 15. Now we can move on to the next step. And D, negative B, negative C, negative A is nothing but just manipulation of letters. So we have the normal matrix going to be A, B, C, D. And now we just have to change this up. So we have B right here equals 1, which is going to be A. This is going to be B right here. H is going to be our C, and W is going to be our D. So in order to change these up, what we have to do is put our D first up here. Yeah, we have B right here. We have our we have A as our 1, B as 17, C as our 7, and D as our 22. And now what we have to do is we have to basically manipulate them. Make this right here, that's your D, negative B, negative C, and A. So what is our D here? Our D is going to be 22, so our first value is going to be 22. Negative B, so we had to find B. B is going to be 17, and just make that negative, so that's negative 17. And then we had to find our C, which is going to be 7. Make that negative, so you have negative 7. And then you have A, which is going to be 1. And then after this step, remember what we got for the last time? We got this value to be 15 right here. This value was 15. And so we take this 15 right here, and using this formula, we have to multiply using matrices. And so what we have to do is just distribute. So 15 times 22 is going to be 330. 15 times negative 17, which is going to be negative 255. 15 times negative 7, which is going to be negative 105. And 15 times 1 is going to be 15. And then after that, you find the mod 26, and that right there is going to be your final inverse cipher. Remember, this is going to be your initial inverse cipher. That's going to be your final inverse cipher. You always have to solve for the final inverse cipher. Remember that. That's key. The final inverse cipher. And this right here is going to be your final inverse cipher. This one's right here is going to be your initial inverse cipher. And that right there is how to find your final inverse cipher. That this right here uses for decryption. Let's go back a couple of slides. Sorry. while you use that for decryption, you use this for encryption. Right here, A, B, C, D, that you use that for encryption. Ignore this right here. That is not what you use for decryption. That is how you solve for the decryption cipher. That's how you get your decryption. But that's not your decryption. You have to use a formula. You have to use this formula. You have to use this formula right here and solve for it to get our final inverse matrix. Okay. So our next topic is going to be matrix multiplying. How do you multiply matrices? We don't know. We'll find out. So first off, you had to start off with A, B, C, D. That's your normal cipher. And then you have X, Y. X, Y are the letters you had to plug in, or the plain text, cipher text, whatever you had to plug in. This multiplication-wise. And so the first step is going to be A times X times B times Y. And that's going to be their top value. AX plus BY. And your bottom value is going to be C times X plus D times Y. That's going to be your bottom value right there. And after you get these values, remember the acronym FFSS, or first, second, sorry, I blanked out for a sec. First, second. So this first letter connects with this first letter, second letter connects with this second letter. So you have AX plus BY. That's your top number. And then you have CX first, second, DY, and that's your bottom one. Let's look at an example. And so right here we have, that's your A, 18, that's your B, 5, C is 25, and your D is going to be 15. And that's going to be your X right there, that's your Y. And so first off, I have to do, in order to fulfill AX plus BY, I have to do 18 times 17, which is going to be your A times X. So 18 times 17. And I have to do my 5 times 12, which is going to be plus 5 times 12. And so from there, what I get is 306 plus 60. And so AX plus BY equals 366. So this top value right here, remember that's top value, not your final answer. This top value right here is going to be 366. And so let's write this somewhere down. So we have 366. And now we have to find for the bottom value. We have to multiply 25 times 17. Remember, first. So we have 25 times 17 plus 15 times 12, second. 15 times 12, which equals 425 plus 180, which equals for us, that's going to be 605. So that means CX plus DY equals 605. And we're not done there yet. Let's go back to this equation right here. Actually, never mind, sorry. So you have 366 on the top, and you have 605 at the bottom. Remember, you have to take the mod of this. So you have to take mod 26 of this. Since there's 26 letters in the alphabet, you have to take mod 26 of this. And after we figure out the mods, mod is just remainder, we get 2 and 7. And this right here is going to be your answer. That's how you matrix multiply and solve. So it may be hard, but once you guys practice, you get the catch of it. And thank you guys for watching. We'll meet up for the next time. Peace.